Hello everybody, this is St. Charles. It is Saturday, the 16th of August 2025. I'm going to start with ZPHR, and this is one which we covered off recently, but this one for me is in a blue box reversal zone, down here at 3.07 down to 2.53, and as you see, the previous sort of blue box reversal zones have worked out rather nicely. So I'm kind of hopeful here that we're going to get some news. For me, the first sort of point of call is going to be, once we've broken out the top of that box, it's 3.07. I think we should go on to fill that gap at 3.6, and then hopefully sort of get another wave up, and then hopefully once we can break out and hold above sort of 5.82 level, we should end up into this red box zone up here at 6.84 to 8.06 pence. So that is ZPHR chart, and I just have a look at the fundamentals.
They've just recently given an operations update, 17th of July. This is their RNS, and it goes here. It says, following the recent completion of the 10.5 million equity placing. Now, it's worth noting that the directors took £700,000 in that placing, so that's a really positive sign. But there's lots going on here. There's the Paradox project, goes on a little bit about the information there, and potential revenues is talk of $1.6 million and $3.2 million, blah blah blah, and it is gas and oil, so I think that's pretty good. It's a good split between the two. Gas prices are pretty good. Oil prices sort of staying around the $60-65 level at the moment, so that's worth bearing in mind. There's also a proposed acquisition, which there's going to be funded by $7.3 million, and I think that's for 400 barrels of oil a day equivalent for the company. So that's going to add to the bottom line as well. And it's also got a strategic investor who's got $100 million through partnership funding. So, they've got an awful lot of funding here. And, most importantly, and I'll just read out there, Colin Harrington's comments on the RNS. It says, following the completion of our successful fundraise, we continue to make strong progress across our asset portfolio. We look forward to a prolonged period of positive news flow as we complete the proposed acquisition and move towards first production on the Paradox project. So we're doing some research on that one. And the next one I'm going to do is ALRT, a Defence Holdings. This one here, we covered off last week, and it's had a pretty good week, hasn't it? From a news perspective, share price wise, it's sort of shot up and sort of didn't break out that 0.5 resistance. But I think that, once we've broken that 0.5 resistance, which, I think that we're going to sort of see a bit more buying over the next week or so. My first point of call here really is this red box zone here at 0.54 up to 0.59, probably a little bit higher, who knows, but that's just going to break us out of that range, and then once we've sort of broken there, probably get a bit of a pullback, not very much, and then if we can go on sort of break and hold above sort of 3/4 of a penny, I think we're going to see us trading up all the way up into this red box zone up here, which is sort of starts, so we should really, once we've done that, we should sort of reach sort of 1.115 pence as a minimum, and then hopefully then range up to sort of the 1.35, and then all the way up to 1.615, and it could go high. I mean, it just depends what sort of news are going to drop. Otherwise we could see a bit of a pullback and then hopefully go again. But we'll have a look at that as it comes. But we just have a look at the news we had during the week. Actually, 3 updates that we got during the course of the week. The first 2 were RNSR reaches. So this one, I'm just going to concentrate on the first one. And what they said here, basically, they've launched a new corporate identity and website. And what it said down here is the brand evolution marks a key step in the company's transition from early stage development to full operational execution. I think that's pretty key wording. And obviously, since then, we got another RNS and just switched to that one. And then we got another one, which was the Defence Holdings and Whitespace sign letter of intent. So, and this one down here, I thought that was really interesting. I mean, it's pretty much straight away we got, the following day, actually, we got an RNS saying that, they've signed a letter of intent with the Sovereign AI Infrastructure Agreement, blah, blah, blah. And this is with Whitespace, a leading UK technology company specialising in AI infrastructure for defence, national security and regulated public sector operations. Now, this company's already got contracts, and I'll just flip down to the bit here, which I'm most interested in. Whitespace is founding member of Arecor Defence Ecosystem, giving Defence Holdings access to a multinational network of defence-aligned innovation. So if we just switch and have a look at what that actually is, and let me just switch the screen again. And Arecor, this is their homepage, and if we see Arecor launches first of its kind defence ecosystem to redefine national security innovation. And there's an awful lot of members here. You can read it yourself. Obviously, the website is oracle.com. And you see initial members of the Arecor Defence ecosystem include, and you can look at all those different companies there. There's Arquit, Black Shark AI, Entanglement, Phoenix Group, and now part of the Nokia Federal Solutions, Koniku, Kraken, Mattermost, Metron, Sensus, Hue, and Whitespace. That is who they've just done a deal with there. So who's to say they're not going to do a deal with these other companies? I mean, obviously it's an assumption, so nothing's guaranteed in this world, but they're certainly making the right sort of strides here, and as I say, it's well worth doing some research on all those companies there. So if I just highlight those, do a bit of research on those, including Whitespace. That's the company we're about to get in the RNS. It actually said we're going to get confirmation of that letter of intent over the next few trading days. So there's going to be more news due there, and I think there's going to be more news due on their other products. So we'll do some research.
Next one I'm going to do is Boom. And this one is, I think these are a lot of these now chart requests, but this one here, we sort of gave that before, didn't we? As around here back in May at 300 pence, said that we thought that was going to be around the bottom, which we were kind of right with that. But for me, I think it's broken out of that sort of resistance at 420, so that should bring us up to a minimum. This blue box here, so if I just get rid of my drawings there, so we should sort of see trading up to 459 to 494. Probably going to sort of tag around 500 pence. I think sort of tag that. Resistance there, and then hopefully get a pullback, and then hopefully higher again. Who knows? But as a longer term target, which is broken hold above sort of the 666 level, then I think that we should be trading up into that red box there at 824 up to 976 pence. But I don't think it's going to go there in a straight line. So, but initial targets there 459, 494, which is probably more right at 500 pence. Sounds reasonable. A lot of resistance around that level, and then hopefully a little pullback, and then the bulls can step in again and take it much higher. ATM is my next one, and this one here, for me, I think that this one should do rather well over the next few months. We gave that blue box reversal zone down there at 2.7 down to 2.56, and in fact, the original sort of reversal was in sub 2p, wasn't it? But for me, I think the initial target here, once we've broken and held above sort of 4 pence level, should give us this 4.9 on to 5.72. But then longer term, we could be zooming up to this bigger box here, 10.95 to 13.2. I think there's a lot of things, there's if I research on the tin price, I think that it's not going to be too long before tin price breaks out to the upside, and we're going to see a lot of these tin plays come into action, and a lot of investors getting stuck into those. So, I think tin for me is a matter of time before it breaks out. It hasn't done it so far yet, but I've been bullish on tin for a long while. But there we go. That's ATM. Next one I'm going to do is AFC, and this one here, I've got a blue box reversal zone, which is just fallen outside of. It's all the way down to sort of 9.54 pence. But we've got a nice rising RSI there. I think that's pretty good. I think the first point of call there is that 13.5 pence. I'd say it is the gap fill. But if we can sort of break in a hold above sort of 17.5 pence, that should bring us into my red box zone there. So that's a 21.2 up to 24.75. And if they can drop some really good news, I don't see why it can't be trading up towards a 30 pence zone. So that is AFC. Potentially one or two bags, isn't there? So we'll do some research on that one. Next one I'm going to do is TIR. Haven't covered this one off for a long while, but I thought I could include it again. And for me, I'm in a blue box reversal zone down here at 1.99 down to 1.2. It did so well, didn't it? It was 5.5 not so long ago. When was that? Back in June, and it's fallen all the way back down. But for me, I've got a bit of a rising RSI there. I think that's looking pretty good. Sort of get the RSI above 50. Hopefully, and drop some good news. Break and hold above sort of 4.5 pence level. I think that should see us trading into this red box zone up here at 6.75 up to 8.25 pence. So that's I'll worth doing some research on that one. STX is my next one, and just get that one up. And this one here, this one's looking pretty good. If this can break. Oh, I think that's really a break, isn't it? I think that, in fact, I'm going to say that's a break. It's a breakout. I think this is going to be heading up to this red box zone here at 6.94 up to 8.24 pence. I'm not going to say it's going to stop there, but I think that's the initial target, and have a reassess of the situation after that. But STX, I think that is going to be heading there short term. Well done, holders. EPP is my next one, and this one hasn't done so well, has it? Last time I covered it off, I got that red box down the bottom, which I said just ignore that. But clearly bad news out during the week, and I've got that blue box to set it off from India. Blue box now at 1.9 all the way down to 0.11, but I don't think it's going to go that far. But if I drop down to the hourly, that looks a pretty good setup to me. We had that initial drop, and we had the right down here minus. We had this, down to 8 RSI. Goodness me. We've got a rising RSI and a lower low. That's generally a good sign. It's probably around this level, should be a good bounce to the upside. And, really for me would be a target that trend line there. So at about 3.6 pence, something like that, would be my initial point of call. So that is EPP. Worth doing some research. Obviously, it's not had the best news out, but I believe, from what I understand, from what I've read, only from other investors, it's probably about a 30-day turnaround. But you need to check that out. PanR is my next one, and this one here, it's had a better week, hasn't it? And for me, I've got a bit more traded data, so I've got a bit more sort of accuracy in where I'm going to say. But for me, I think that, the first point of call is going to be this gap fill. I've got that red box there, so we're sort of broken out. But I think that, sort of break and hold above this 30 pence level. I think that that's going to be in play. So then we, might see a bit of resistance around 32, 35. But I think you're probably going to hit the top of that box and probably that gap fill at 40 pence. So PanR looking pretty good, isn't it? So I think there's some drill going on there, isn't there? So worth doing some research on that one. Let's have a look. Fab is my next one. And let's just, I will keep on getting asked on this one. I mean, it's obviously very popular with a lot of people. But, this is one where I don't know whether I gave that red box or the blue box. So, but the blue box is clearly the one in play. And as I said to somebody in my Telegram group on Friday, if it can break above and hold above that 70.35 pence level, I think that, we should be heading up to 20.5 pence. Just look at that RSI. I mean, it's massively overcooked. It's at 90.74. So that for me would suggest that there's probably more in that. It might have a bit of a breather before it goes up, but I think that 20p is probably going to be doable and maybe higher. Who knows? We'll assess that as it goes along. SLP is my next one, and this one here, so we gave that one back down here at 47 pence, so that we should be trading up to 65 to 71. I've extended the box to 79.6. It looks like it might be running out a bit of steam on that one. So, I think that, we'll see how it goes over the next few weeks, see whether or not we can get another entry on that one. Next, we're going to do AREC. Goodness me, I've never covered this one off actually, but I'd actually done the chart for it. But that for me was reversal zone at 51.5 all the way down to a minus figure, but it doesn't matter. It's just the way I calculate things. It's doing really well. Have I got a target? No, I mean, really, I want to see a bit more trading data. I need to, we sort of wave one, probably get a 2, and then hopefully a 3. But, for me to give a proper target and an entry level, anything like that, I mean, ideally you wanted to be in within that blue box. So for me, it's one we're going to keep an eye on and see how that progresses over the coming trading sessions. Gmet is my next one, and hopefully this has got better news on this one. I mean, actually, again, this is going to be another one where I'm going to say that I need more trading data. I gave that down at 21.2, sorry, 22.1 down to 19.4 as a reversal, and we gave that as a target of 50 odd pence, which was spot on. So it's done really well. It's tagged sort of 71 pence level. I think there's more legs in that to the upside. So, I think we're just having a bit of profit taking at the moment, but do I think that's going to go higher short term? Yeah, I do. I think that's going to go a bit higher on that one. So that's Gmet. FAR is my next one. And this one here is, we gave that down as a river, or in fact, we had that big blue box, which is correct. And then we had that 6.24 down to 5.14, which is correct again. And for me, where I think that's heading, probably 11.5 up to 12.9 pence is where I see that heading. But, if it can get into there and close within that box, that should trigger this bigger box here of 15.6 up to 18.25. So that's far looking pretty good as a vanadium play. So I haven't looked at vanadium price of late. Might be worth having a look at that. But I know it's heavily controlled by the Chinese, but and this is going to be one huge project. So worth doing some research on that one, seeing what's happening. Ton is my next one, and just get that one up here. This is a bit of a tricky one. I've got this red box reversal zone down here at 7.82 down to 6.86, which didn't tag. More in terms of technical charting, 5.54 down to 3.36 is the better setup. However, this is where you need to use your fundamental research to find out, what's going on, what's going to drive the price higher, because they don't always go down to these reversal zone boxes. So and it's had a pretty good reversal play on Friday, had a pretty good candle. It needs to break that downtrend, but if you can break that downtrend, sort of hold, sort of above 13 pence, I should bring you into this red box zone here at 21.7 up to 25.5. It's not one I know particularly much about, but it's worth doing some research. I know there's a couple of heavily researched chaps in there. They would know an awful lot more than what I do with regards to the fundamentals. So as I say, use the chart as your guide, but definitely, you need to be researching on your fundamental side as well. There you go, before you make your own investment decision. There you go. And let's have a look. I think I'll do power metals, and I think that's going to be it for today. That was another one where we get that blue box reversal zone, and it sort of started to make its way out. As I said before, don't see a drop below that 9.98 pence, because I think that red box will come into play. Hopefully that doesn't happen, because I believe it's massively undervalued. But so are an awful lot of stocks on AIM. So breaking a hold above sort of 23 pence level, I think that should bring us up to this 27.2 up to 31.5. But that's good returns on that, at least a bagger on reward for those who do the research and take the trade. There you go. That's me for Saturday. Have a great weekend. We'll see you again soon.